Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GGrated Podcast. This is episode number what?
70.
Ooh, it's going to be good. There's a lot of good things to talk about today. So stick with us on this episode.
GG, have a good game. Come see your buddies, Gino and Gray, and it's free. Gino with the news, Gray with the deals. You gotta take it from me. It's coming fast. It's a game of future and nostalgic past. Let's get it. The GG Rated Podcast.
I got to make another song.
All right. You're like, I need something that
It just doesn't hit
good,
like
though.
it
It's
used
still
to.
good.
Yeah.
But guys, welcome to the GG Rated Podcast. Like Gray was saying, is episode 70. If you have not joined us before, we talk about gaming, news. We give you some deals. We talk about our gaming moments of the week. If you have those gaming moments of the week, make sure you post them down below. We will say that a few times. Trying to get some clips, trying to get some stories. Thank you for joining in. Like I said, episode 70, huge feat. We're still rolling. We're still rocking. Or should it be the other way around? I don't know. But Josh,
Yo,
how's it been going, man?
man, it's been going good. It was nice to get to see you last week. We all hung out at the beach and had us a good time and got to hang out a little bit. We were going to try to record a show while we were there. Didn't get around to it. We're just busy hanging, playing games, golfing, going to the beach, having a good time. So we're here now.
It was a great time. I think we stood up to like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock every day, every morning.
Oh yeah, playing board games and such.
Yeah. It was great, man. It was great.
It was legit.
But it's a new week. We are not at the beach anymore, guys. We joined the rest of y'all in the working world. Tell us. Let's talk about something I want to kind of talk about just real quick. It's not technically gaming related, but it's some big news, and I think it's something that I kind of want to get in and kind of get a sense what you're thinking about all this. But we just had some news break last night, right? In reference to I don't know. Are you here? I see Josh
sorry.
is turning around. He's turning around on me.
I'm trying to turn my TV on. I usually have like some sort of anime or something in the background.
All we see is white on the TV anyway,
I
so
know,
it's
this
okay.
is dumb. I need something on there.
He needs to focus or something.
Yeah, hold on.
See, that's better.
There
Just
we
keep
go.
it black. There we go.
Days of Thunder back there. All right, let's go.
But big news, I think we need to talk about and stuff because all this kind of stuff still does kind of affect gaming. The United States actually struck Iran 3 nuclear sites last night.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff being talked about all this and everything. What do you think, and how do you think that's going to affect the landscape of the U.S. when it comes to not only just the freedom aspect, think about that, or the war aspect, but in reference to gaming? How do you think that might tie in the future?
Well, so this is a gaming podcast, and so my mind is on that. So when you started talking about it, I started thinking.
I threw you off, didn't I?
Yeah.
I threw you off, yeah.
So I started thinking there was probably a gamer that dropped the bombs on the nuclear sites, because a lot of that stuff is probably using an Xbox controller or something. And he's like, I've practiced my whole life for this moment. And he's like, I got to use the right stick, go up, down, boost with right trigger, get it right in the vent to go down to the nuclear site. Yeah, and America all over.
I gotta tell you a story that my wife told me today when we was talking about it, because it's been the topic of everybody, right? It's been the topic. She said that, you remember SEAL Team 6 when it came to Osama bin Laden?
Yeah,
right?
There's actually a documentary on
Yes,
Netflix
that's what we was talking about.
Okay.
We watched this great documentary, guys. If you have not seen it, watch it. It's an outstanding documentary. But it talks about how like one of the wives wasn't like she didn't know, and they was almost on the brink of divorce. And like he couldn't say anything to his wife.
Man.
And then once it finally happened after these years or whatever, however long it took, he finally sends a text to his wife and he's like, I'm so sorry. Now you know. And all I can think about, they talk about this mission, about how secret it was and how it just wasn't put out. And you play these games and you get sucked into these stories, especially like Call of Duty, but you don't think about that aspect, of the actual personal lives that are affected by by these soldiers and all. So I just wanted to give out a huge thank you to everybody out there that does that sort of thing, keeps us freedom and takes their lives at risk. It really makes you remember this, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you hear these stories, because this mission wasn't just going and bombing this. They came from the Midwest all the way across the country to the most sensitive facility that's just armed and was able to take them out. That's a huge feat. That is an absolute huge feat. And it took a lot of planning, a lot of secrecy, probably a lot of personal lives that were affected. So I just wanted to give thanks to that and make sure to mention that at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, dude, that's a really good thing to do. Good idea there. Yeah, it's been crazy. I heard they were like refueling in Hawaii as kind of a ruse while they were flying ships around to the back end of Iran or something. And I was talking with a friend at work today about this, about how, he's talking, they're not going to send in ground troops, but I'm thinking like in the future, man, it's going to be nothing but drones and probably like humanoid robots walking across. But could you imagine the countries that can't afford the robots? How scary that would be to have these big humanoid robots on the battlefield, and they're like, "Oh God!"
What we're describing to you guys is Call of Duty 4. Make sure you pre-order by October 18th, 2028.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, with that being said, hey, let's go into the gaming news, man. Let's go.
Gaming news is game moment of the week. You want to get rid of this so bad. I know you do.
I knew you.
Every single episode. Listen, guys, we've been talking about it. The next
I have to do that every
segment
episode.
always is gaming moment of the week, where we talk about our favorite gaming moment from this past week. We go through and we tell you all the feels, the moment, everything that happened. We got some gameplay. Great. But, I was thinking, Eugene, because I've been playing a lot of games lately. So I'm thinking I might save them for my main talk at the end about all the different games I was playing and my love for retro and all that. But I do have a favorite.
Can I talk about mine though?
Oh yeah. I was gonna talk about mine too.
Do you want to say it or do you want to?
No,
go
ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna talk about my specific moment that I enjoyed. And I got to talk about playing Blaze's board game. So your brother-in-law, he has a board game. It's called Point 33. Is that right? I'm totally
Point 14.
Point 14. I don't know. Point 33. I think I'm thinking of that game, Expedition 33.
Okay. Because I did mention that a lot. That's mine.
Point 14 is a board game that we played while all of us were having a guys trip at the beach. It's a game invented by Blaze. He's been on the podcast before. And we played it in person, but also he uploaded the whole thing to Tabletop Simulator. We played last night, played an entire game. We were only going to play like half of it. We played the entire game. And dude, had so much fun.
I done at 2 o'clock in the morning, by the way, guys.
Yeah, we had so much fun messing around in there because you can spawn stuff and you can flip the table, but thankfully you can undo all of that and go back to the place that you were. But he uploaded all of the assets, all the cards, the board, all that stuff to Tabletop Simulator, and it was so much fun to sit down and play with you guys last night.
It was, and
I wish we had gameplay.
Just for everybody that knows,
I didn't record it.
I know we should have streamed it and all, but I'll say this too: he should be uploading that game hopefully at some point. Where if you had Tabletop Simulator on Steam, you should be able to access that game and try it out. He's got a whole rule book and everything. Him and Bridge, which are the founders of this game that they made, it's got aspects of what Catan, Dune and stuff all kind of brought into it. And it's been a fun game to play and kind of play test and stuff for him. And we talked about it a little bit before on a previous podcast, and they're still trying to develop it a little bit and make some tweaks. But that was a cool moment, dude. That was cool.
For sure. And I think when he releases it, we need to make it like a big deal and have like a whole episode just dedicated to it and try to get it out there as much as we can. But
we do.
Specific moment, because it was the gaming moment, was when I'm pretty sure my turn got skipped. It's because you have these two ambassadors on your board that you can send out and do different missions and all that stuff. Well, you're only supposed to get 2 unless you buy more basically. And everybody had went, and I think I either got skipped or I had an extra turn. Honestly, I am 80% sure I got skipped, but there's still that part where it's like I'm not 100% sure. So it was just funny because I don't know, like nobody remembered, but everybody's like, nah, man. And then I'm like, but, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to skip my turn again because I'm not sure. But then Blaze is like, no,
He put it on us. He put it on us. That's what he did. He was like, I'm going to make them feel guilty if they don't let me get my turn. He played the whole,
no,
it's okay,
I was totally, I was like, no, it's fine. And then they're like, no, you can do it. I was like, all right.
guys, let me cut you real fast. That's kind of like somebody finding a $5 bill on the ground, and this guy comes up to you and said, "Oh, that's my $5 bill," but like I found it. Like, how do I know it's yours? It's like, oh, it's okay. Well, you can have it. Then, if you really need it, you can have it. At that point, you're like, no, you can have the $5. I don't need it, but it's just the point. So we got.
What
this
if
whole
it's actually
thing
my $5 though? Like, have you ever thought of that?
But see, that's what I'm saying. But now so. We had this whole dilemma last night with Josh, and it's at the last round, by the way, guys. Yeah. The last move, everything. And we're like, he's like, well, did you see I did my turn? And Chris is like, no. And he's like, did you see me do my turn? And he's like, no. So we stuck in a dilemma. It was a fun moment. It was pretty funny. It was hilarious.
But it's one of those deals.
The cool thing, I know this ain't my moment, Josh, but I want to add to yours. The cool thing was you being the DJ last night during all that.
Oh yeah,
with the music.
I had some bangers on there because doing all kind of like video game music and stuff, and they make it weird, right? If you've ever played Tabletop Simulator, you gotta upload the music to your cloud so that everybody can hear it. So I'm sitting there like making MP3s out of YouTube videos so that I can upload it to it. It was a vibe. It was
so cool. He was playing Metal Gear Solid theme song, Mario 64. He was playing Expedition 33 because I can't stop talking about it. Halo was coming on there. So you had all these well-known gaming music, and we were just listening to. Oh, and then at the very end of the game, he started playing heroic, dramatic music, like at the end of a movie. So we started getting hyped about that. It was ultimately it was a cool time. I will say that.
Yeah, really, really fun. So that was my game moment of the week. I have a lot of the games that I played that I'll talk about later, but that was mine for this week. What was yours?
Dude, my gaming moment is going to have to be Expedition 33. So I've heard a lot about it. We kind of talked about it time and time again, but the other day at work, my captain comes up to me and he starts telling me about, I was riding with him. He starts telling me about it. He said, did you hear the music? I was like, oh man, I know somebody that's all about the music. Thinking of you, Josh, you know. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, this game will win game of the year for just the music alone. And it's a great game, but it's an RPG. If you don't know, Expedition 33 is an RPG, which is turn-based, which when you hear turn-based, it turns a lot of people down because it's too slow-paced.
I love turn-based.
Yeah, it's too slow-paced for a lot of people, though. All right, there are more action these days, right? So that's why these companies have quit making it. Well, this used to be Ubisoft employees, and they split off and made their own game. And I'm going to tell you a little backstory on it. Well, let me just stop right there, and I'll tell you in just a second. So I was speaking to my captain. He plays this song, and just in the car, the song is so captivating. It's so good, and I'm like, dude, this is good. And then he played a rock version of this song to me. There's a rock version. It's so popular. There's a rock version of this. I have to let you listen to that too, Josh. I totally forgot. So I listened to that. And I'm like, man, The Rock is even better than the other one. So I play the game. I think it was Friday night, Thursday night. And dude, I told my wife, I was like, oh, I'll be in at 9:30, 10 o'clock. Next thing you know, it's like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, just got through the prologue. And it's like a movie. The graphics are insane. And the story goes, and I'm not going to try to spoil it for you, but this is what the game's about, is there's this paintress, this monster that's by a mountain. You know, on the mountain is a 34 number. Every year at the end of the cycle, she stands up and she brushes away the 34. everybody that's 34 years of age dies. Okay.
Ooh.
You don't know that though at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then, she writes 33 and then it just keeps going down like that. Well, there's always a group of their last year. They go out after the festival. They have a festival and everything because of this day. So when she brushes that 34 away, everybody vanishes. That group that was 33 goes out and uses that last year to go and try to kill the paintress. So save the entire world or whatever, the island. Man, what you witness because of that is so captivating. It's so good of a story, so invested. I couldn't stop watching it. So I finally got to a point that was a save point. Been thinking about it so much to play it. I just been working so much this weekend, trying to play catch up. But I'm hoping one day I don't have any work and I can just play like 3 hours at least minimum of this game. But if you haven't played, my moment of the week was that there's a moment in the prologue that's just like it's heartbreaking, bro. It's so heartbreaking. And it's such a great game. So if you have not played Expedition 33, definitely try that game.
Dude, so I've been hearing you rave about it, and I downloaded it on my Steam Deck because I was going to play it on some downtime.
I wonder how it runs on there.
It runs like, it looks like garbage. I was very disappointed. I was like, no, it just did not look right.
You got to do it on PC,
so
bro.
I'm going to download it on PC because you've been raving about it so much, and I'm going to give it a run. We game share, so thank you, by the way. I have access to it. And I'm going to totally play that. But I was disappointed because usually games like that look fine, if not good, on Steam Deck. But for some reason, it was trying to do the upscaling and things look weird. And I was like, this isn't going to work. This would not be a good experience.
Switch to now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our gaming moments. Like I said, Expedition 33, point 14. Do you want to go into the next section? Bring us home.
Next section is we're going to talk about some gaming news and deals. If this is your first time with us, we're going to talk about latest in gaming news and some sweet deals for you to pick up. So stay tuned. Let's go. Alrighty. Gaming news and deals. What you got for us on the news side, Gino?
I know I gave this to you. Can you go ahead and bring up the Xbox partnering with AMD and pull up that video, and maybe we can watch that video real quick?
I surely
That's
can. Cool. So it's a video?
Here's a video.
I see it. I'm about to... let me switch over to our video scene. There it goes.
I like that animation. We should include that every time.
Yeah. All right. So you want to break down what's going on here first, or?
Yeah. Go ahead with.
All right.
Well, let's watch it and then we'll break it down. It's not long. It's only a minute long.
At Xbox, our vision is for you to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. That's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories.
Oh.
I am thrilled to share we've established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles.
Ryzen AI.
And in your hands. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation, to unlock a deeper level of visual quality, and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. This is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device. That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The next generation of Xbox is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We can't wait to show you what's
There you go.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is so funny to me for some reason. So it might not be the way it sounds, but it's basically, it's like, so we want to become just like Steam. Basically what I'm hearing.
Well, this is what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at this news coming out as being bigger than what a lot of people even looking at. Some people don't even understand it. Okay. Definitely if you're not a gamer, you don't understand what's happening here. I feel like, first off, the handheld is already confirmed to have Steam on there, right? With this partnership. So the next Xbox, the next generation of Xbox hardware is going to have all the stores on there. It's not going to have just an Xbox store. What they're trying to do is make it more like a PC, but for the living room. They're trying to get ahead of PlayStation in a way of saying, "Hey, you get my box, you can have it all." Right? Yeah. And they're not just going with the box. They're trying to conquer the handheld. They're trying to break the wall, and they want you to look at the option of saying, "Okay, you have a PlayStation. Yes, they have great console exclusives, but if you want to play every game, you can get a because PlayStation's putting their stuff on PC, right? Everybody knows that. If they make theirs more like PC, then you even get a PlayStation with their Xbox. You see what I'm saying? It's a way of playing PlayStation games even on an Xbox. And what AMD comes in at is AMD is able to help them use the software and help with Windows in order to make all their games compatible on all devices. If they're able to pull this off, then I feel like they're going to have a step ahead of these other companies that's going to have to follow suit. They're going to have to. Yeah. Because why would you not get an Xbox or any kind of device that plays Xbox when you're able to play Steam games, right?
Right.
You're able to play Ubisoft games, PlayStation games, because all the PlayStation games on Steam that we have is now able to be played on that Xbox handheld whenever it comes out this year. Why would you not get an Xbox machine when you can get it all? Yeah. Instead of just getting a PlayStation, just play PlayStation games.
Right. And it makes me think, so the partnerships that maybe Microsoft has with Windows and their operating system, with all these other manufacturers that make hardware like Lenovo and like Acer and, all the different manufacturers, they're kind of screwing them over a little bit because they're like, hey, in the future, you're going to have to build like an Xbox hardware in order to compete now in this market. So yeah. I'm wondering, it's just really interesting to see how it works behind the scenes, because the computer market is primarily like Windows anyway. So they were already in the door. So their operating system is going to all these different hardware manufacturers. But now it seems like they're getting more in the PC hardware environment instead of just their Xbox. Everything's going to be an Xbox. So they're like kind of branching out even more and becoming even more of a monopoly in the PC market. So, and I'm wondering how this is going to affect Steam Deck
They're trying to hold on
to
it
as well, because Steam OS is starting to get some steam. It's starting to get some momentum. Because
they're trying to hold on to it. That's what they're trying to do, the market.
Because I want to get away from Windows really bad. I'd like to have Steam OS as my primary operating system. I'm always going to have a Windows machine, probably just because it's been around for so long and being able to do all the different things. But for like a primarily gaming system, I really want a Steam box. Like, I don't see myself buying another Windows PC. I have a laptop that works great. I love it. But if I'm ever going to get
that's a great point.
Gaming rig, I'm going to look for a Steam box.
Well, that's a great point that you just said right there, because there's a lot of millions of other people. I got a little tongue tied there. Millions of other people that are just like you. Mm-hmm. But there's a billion other people, I feel like, that are more like on my side of wanting to stick with Windows. They don't like to change too much. They want the versatility of, hey, I use this computer for work. I use this computer for gaming. I use this computer for family. And in order to do all three of those, there's only one software system that can do it all, and it's Windows right now. Oh, and sure. I think Microsoft is seeing that SteamOS is picking up slack
Steam
from Windows. Steam picking up Steam. that now they're trying to say, okay, let's go and work with the Microsoft team, okay, with Windows, and have it where there's one store for all of it, and people are going to. I'm telling you, dude, this is huge. I can't say it enough. It's a huge deal. I think because AMD is going to develop a chip, is what they're talking about, a silicon chip, kind of like Apple has the M4, right? The M chips. They broke away from Intel. Remember, Apple used to, MacBook used to have Intel chips. They always ran hot. Yes, they always ran hot, and now Apple makes their own chip
that runs really great. Like that thing runs cool.
Really great, great. I mean, now AMD and Xbox going to make their own chip, and that chip is going to be in every machine as you go in the future. Every machine is going to have the same chip. What does that do for capability, dude? For compatibility? I'm sorry, compatibility. When you have one chip that's updated over time, everything's going to work seamlessly. And guess what else? Developers are going to eat it up because they don't have to learn a whole new system or anything every single time. It just gets more powerful, more graphics, better stuff. And then that's not even including the cloud. So I think this partnership, you're not going to see it for the next 4 or 5 years, is going to be absolutely huge for Xbox.
I think so too. And I think the crazy thing is, so I saw an article today, I didn't really read it, but supposedly somebody got AI working on not much RAM and not much graphical power on like a really old PC from back in the day. So he was kind of, I think what they were getting at is trying to prove a point to where you don't need that much horsepower and hardware to be able to use AI. And with that kind of power means you don't have to build these crazy hot expensive systems. So it's going to open up this whole new arm of really affordable gaming, really affordable PCs that can do a lot of computing power with not a lot of hardware. And the market is about to get nuts. Like, it's going to go all over the place. So I think they're trying
Gaming's
to get...
changing.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to get a stranglehold on, we need to make sure we have the best AI, we have the best UI, which is the user interface. Because, like, I love the way Xbox has their...
software.
Has their software. It's great. You're able to find everything. It just works.
I do.
And I think they're trying to get their hand in on the market. So your average Joe, your average 12-year-old who's just getting into gaming, or like actually way younger than that. My son's been playing games since he was like 2. So
that's the hard part, though. What you're saying, the average person, average person. That's the key. Make it simple. Make it simple.
This is going to get a lot more people in the door, and they're just going to be like, "Oh, Xbox, like." This thing is about gaming. This is how I'm going to do it. Yeah. And
you want to play on a computer too and just do computer stuff? Oh, let's buy.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad, because I don't know what it's going to say for the gaming system in the future, like where all that's going to lie. I think there's always going to be a place for a dedicated box to play games on, but I don't know how many more Xboxes we're going to get, or is it just going to be... I don't know. It's going to be like really interesting to see what kind of products
going to go out
with. You think so?
PlayStation don't change. I feel like PlayStation is going to be flipped come next generation. But we will talk about that going into our next section.
Oh yeah. Let's do it
with Nintendo. So I want to talk about real quick. Kind of get your thoughts on this, Josh. Nintendo Switch 2 announced that they sold 3.5 million units worldwide in the first 4 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is now being called the biggest console launch in history, in video game history.
That's crazy.
I think they stocked up enough. They had no pandemic to worry about. And they had a little bit of trouble with the tariff.
They were making it so I think you had to have an actual Nintendo account to do the orders and all that stuff.
But they gave so much stock that the scalpers was even selling their consoles at first. Now it's a little bit harder now. But I think the initial people got their consoles, so the scalpers ain't really getting these Switch 2s too much, I don't think. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest issue that they ran into, this is more like a Switch Pro instead of a Switch 2. I love it, absolutely love it. I just bought a Kill Switch from D Brand that I put on my Switch 2. It came in. I'm going to do a little video on there as well. So y'all can check that out on my TikTok on The Evans Jr. I'm going to throw that out there. But I got to say, I just didn't see it being 3.5 million. I was kind of surprised by that. But do you think it could be what people are not talking about? Do you think it could have been more than that if they didn't have the controversy with the game key cards?
I don't know. So I think more and
and more
people are
exclusive games too.
right. I think more and more people are getting into gaming. More and more people are going this route. Gaming is a lot more popular than it was back in the day. There's less of a stigma about it. So I think that is why these launches are so big, why they always go above and beyond, because more people have access and like want to do this thing. And the Switch, they've had advertisement of the Switch model for like 10 plus years now. So everybody knew what it was. And if they're like me, I felt like it was almost too late to get in on it, but I have a son who wanted one. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get it. So if I didn't buy a Switch a couple years ago, I might have bought a Switch 2 instead. So I might have finally joined in the Switch market. That's what held me back all these years, because I thought next year they're going to come out with a Switch 2. Oh, wait, next. So I just always waited because I thought it was going to be the next year that they came out with the Switch 2. So I think that is another reason. And I watch Retro Rick Game Point. If you've ever heard of him, he's a guy that owns a game store. His name is Retro Rick, and he says that people are already bringing these in to trade for whatever reason. I think they did such a good job with marketing and everything that a lot of people bought one, even if they
waited for so long to get one, and they finally
And I think you're going to get that though with any system. I don't think it says that it's bad or anything, because like I played yours. The thing's cool. Like it looks great.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and it feels great. The only thing that kind of gets me is the price of everything. But if you like it, love what you love. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it seems like a really good system, and I really think that they earned it, honestly, because they have the titles, they have really good hardware that lasts. I mean, like mine was my nephew's that stayed in a drawer forever. And it's crazy the thing still holds a charge. Like, it's wild.
Well, not only that, it's just, I feel like it's the last system that really does physical, Josh. And physical is a dying thing, physical media. And the cartridges that you can buy, you can play pretty much every, I can't say 100%, but almost every single game from the Switch library, you can play on the Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a huge selling point to say, hey, let me get the Switch 2. Or, hey, my son, like for me, I got the Switch 2 and my son got the Switch. And I don't want to make this about, hey, the Switch versus the Switch 2, but more about focusing on, you got 3.5 million units that was sold. The biggest launch in video game history we was a part of. Okay. Where do they go from here, first off, right, with this? And secondly, the thing I'm more worried about is the physical media part of it. So the biggest controversy with the system, besides the not having an OLED screen, is the game key cards, which I mentioned before in the last podcast, is where you get a physical cartridge, but you put it into your system and you have to download the game from the server. As long as it's available, it gets downloaded to your SIM card, not your SIM card, your micro SD card, or your internal storage, and it's there. You have to have the cartridge to play that game. But if I want to take that cartridge and give it to you, Josh, and then you download that game, you can play it. So I'm not going to be able to play that game without that. Nobody's going to be able to play the game without the cartridge. The problem is the download is not on the actual cartridge. You have to download it from the internet. Now, once you download it, you don't have to have internet to play it. So you still have some aspects of physical media on there. But what if they delist the game on the shop? Are you going to be able to put that media into that system and download that game if it's not on the shop?
Right.
Or so I'll give you
so there's already people that have been maybe doing things on their Switch they're not supposed to, and I've heard that they don't brick it, but they make it so it can't access the internet anymore.
The new terms of service.
So it's gonna like really screw people over from doing any kind of hacking or modding or anything, and that's kind of good or bad depending on who you are and how you think. But I just
not Josh and Chino, guys. No, Josh and Chino.
I just wanted to throw that in there. But so if they don't have access to the internet, then it kind of messes up the whole vibe. Even if it is a key card, you know what I mean? Because before, you could still play games, you just couldn't update it. So
that was the biggest thing about the Switch is you can put a game cartridge in and boom, it plays.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. So I think that had a little bit of effect on sales. I don't know how that's going to last, but it's still pretty cool. I got to give it up to Nintendo. 3.5 million. They continue to dominate. The Switch is like the leading, handheld / console of this generation. They don't need the huge graphics, but they have the lineup. They have the exclusives, right?
Yeah.
And I think the big announcement is going to be coming. I'm going to throw this out here, a little extra news for you, Josh, is the next Nintendo Direct happening in the next couple weeks is going to have a lot of first-party Xbox games going to the Nintendo Switch too.
Whoa. Is Xbox just going to take over everybody? That's like, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Halo, Starfield, all those games.
I bet Starfield's going to run great on Switch too. That would be neat.
All that is going Switch too.
That is crazy, dude.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But
yeah, that would be the gaming news of the week.
Gaming news of the week. That was great news. That was interesting, man. I guess we'll transition over to the deals. I only have one that's super cool. Both you and I both tested it, and it works. So check it out.
If you say Choo Choo Train Charlie, I swear.
Choo Choo Charlie is on sale again for $5. That's got to be a meme, dude. That's funny.
It's got to be.
So check it out. Tabletop Simulator. This works a little different. So I think I bought mine from like kinggui.net or .com or another one that I trust. There's only a few that I've used and they work every time. But I think basically any of these key shops you can get Tabletop Sim is usually $20. Both of us got it for somewhere around $5 a piece.
$5.
Which is pretty awesome. It's like 80% off or something. But the way it worked out is instead of you getting a key, you bought access for somebody to give you a gift of the game, which was a little weird. It was a little bit sketchy. So if you've ever done that on Steam, basically you had to accept a friend request from some random person and then they sent you the game to your inventory. And I was looking, I was like, there's no way they can like hack us through this or anything. So it's a little bit sketchy.
You sure?
Use at your, I'm not positive, but use at your own risk. But in all accounts, it worked and haven't had any issues. So,
and we've got a lot of fun out of it already.
Oh yeah, awesome,
so.
Dude! It's a crazy good deal, and I think we just unfriended the guy afterwards. I don't know how they do these things. I just know that the game has already been bought, or so
can you go over to them exactly from like if they get on their PC or anything how to actually get this? Can you show them like, hey, go into you go to gg.deals and where do they type in at and what do they need to type in to get to the page that you're at?
Oh yeah, so you can just go to gg.deals and if you just look up Tabletop Sim.
Okay, so you go to the search menu up there, guys.
You can just search it and then it'll go over here and it'll show you the best deal around is from K4G, and you shop now, and you basically go there and you can buy the game.
Oh, cool. There you
But I've never used K4G, so I don't know about it. But oh wow, It's
It worked though.
yeah, it worked. These are usually done through, you buy it through like PayPal or something, and then they will send you an email. And then once you click on that and you show the game key, it's yours. You can't return it anymore. So after you open that up, it's going to take you to another page where you have the key that you plug into Steam, and then the game is in your inventory. This way was a little bit different. I think you plugged in a key and it did this roundabout way. But once you get in there, and if you're familiar with Steam and how to do all that stuff, you'll get it no problem. If you have any issues, drop us a line at ggratedchannel@gmail.com or in the comments, and I would be more than happy
try
to
to
walk
run
you
you
through
through
it. Yeah, it's really easy. It took us like 5 minutes, and we both had Tabletop Sim for around $5 a piece. Very
Save
much worth it.
$15.
Yeah, very much worth it, by the way. Awesome game. We need to stream it some and show you just the whole architecture behind it. Really cool. It's all like really physics based to where you can like pick things up. You can handle cards and objects and all that stuff and do all kind of things in this world. And it's really, really fun. So that's the one I would suggest to get if you're into this type of game at all, because it's a great deal. That was the main one I was going to highlight just because
I like that. I like that, man.
Yep.
GG.deals, guys. Make sure you check that out. Tabletop Simulator. If you like board games, anything like that, make sure you check that out. Man, let's go into our main topic.
Let's go into our main topic. I got a few things I want to talk about. I'm sure you do too, but let's go. GG-rated main topic. Let's go.
So I really don't have anything this week from the main topic. So I'm going to run off of yours and let's discuss what you got going on, man.
Okay, dude, check it out. So I don't know what happened to me. I got a wild hair. I really want to buy some like little weird handhelds or something, or like mod my PSP. I'm back in that like retro game feeling. And so I have been doing PSP on my phone, and I've been downloading all these games. I actually own a PSP. I've been downloading all these different games, playing PSP games. There's actually a Metal Gear Solid game I've been playing on my PSP. Really, really cool. But here's another game I want to highlight first. I'm going to bring up a video scene.
Okay.
So this is an MMO of Pokemon that you can download on your mobile device. All you have to have is a few different Pokemon versions that came out on, I guess they came out on like DS or something. I'm not 100% sure. I was going to have all of that information here, but I forgot to get it. But my buddy Daniel told me about it. And basically, and if you want to know like more about this, I can break it down to you. That won't be a problem. But basically what it is you download these different ROMs, and these people have kind of made their own game after that to where people can play online together, playing these old school turn-based Pokemon games. And I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. I'm activating my controller.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks
good, man.
I got my 8-bit Dude controller, and this game is running on my phone. I got a Motorola Razr. Let me activate this controller.
So you're looking like an over-the-top 2D, not side-scrolling, but maybe 2D, 3D, over-the-top, more like a Link's Awakening kind of style Pokemon game that you're looking at. Josh just connected his controller.
Yeah, I forget which ones they are. Is it like Pokemon, like Emerald and Diamond, and I don't know what all those are, but basically it's not like it was back in the day. It's a little bit different. So this isn't Pokemon Red or Blue.
Shrinking your screen a little bit if you're able to, so we can see the actions. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Let me get that going. Display capture.
Probably gonna get them killed.
No, so this is turn-based, so I got all the time in the world. So
That'll work.
basically, this is running on my phone, but it has controller support. So this is actually a Pokemon that my friend Daniel sent to me online. There's an online
That's
mail
cool.
system where you can chat with other people and all that. I just took that one out, no problem. But see these guys with little names above them? Those are real people. And I think I could do a player versus player battle if I wanted to. PvP, you can sign up. I haven't done any of it yet, so but basically you could play these Pokemon games. There's a whole story mode and everything. You could play with your friends. I'm really early on, so I haven't really
Dude, that's so
dove
cool,
into
though.
it yet, but it's awesome because
And it's on your
my
phone.
Yeah, this is on my phone, and it has controller support. So really, really fun. This is one thing I've been messing with. I have another one that I want to show. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm gonna bring up right now.
I like that background.
Yeah,
That's sick.
that's one of the best animes ever. It's called Freren at Journey's End, and it is incredible. So I have a PSP emulator on my phone that I'm about to pop up.
Hang on. Before you pop this up,
Mm-hmm.
before you do it, it's about PSP. I'm sorry, it's about PSP. I don't mean to mess you up.
It's not Nintendo.
I know. But I need you to go to the gaming news, and I need you to click on that link and scroll down and pop that up real quick.
Okay.
Just need you to trust me on this.
I trust you, buddy. Let me do that. Let me do this real quick.
Because it's so funny that you mentioned the PSP today.
No way, dude. So this is what I just clicked on, everybody. Look at this.
So go down, scroll down of this.
Hold on, let me make
Keep
this
going.
screen bigger. This is incredible.
Keep going because it gets good. Keep going. Right
PSP
there. Oh, you can't. It won't
GPS?
show you. Oh, there it goes.
What?
This guy.
I want
This
that.
guy-
I got a PSP right over here. I want to put this in my truck. This is incredible.
Dude, the GPS function on the PSP still works. Still works, Josh. There's his PSP.
Look.
He's showing his PSP now.
Look, this is my
That's
PSP. Incredible.
This
look,
guy uses
look
it
what's in
for
it. Hold
Uber.
on. Look what's in it. Metal Gear Solid, baby.
Of
Let's
course.
go.
Of course.
Of
Dude, that's
course.
awesome, though. That is so awesome.
cool.
Dude, this
outta
guy's
here.
using it for Uber.
Hold
For
on. I
Uber.
can't hear you.
16.
You got me so flustered. I like messed up my hat.
I saw this today. Out of all the days, I saw this when I was scrolling through, and I was like, and then you start talking about PSP, and I had to do it. But he's using this, and people are taking pictures when they're getting picked up in the Uber, and they're taking pictures of it 16 years later, dude.
Oh my gosh,
16 years.
dude. This looks like it's in China or something. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible.
If you're on YouTube, you got to check it out. We got it pulled up right now.
Is
It's
that a
pretty amazing.
GPS attachment on top?
Yes. Yeah.
How? How do I get one? I gotta have this.
There's actually a thing that you can get with the PSP. Is an actual attachment that allows for this to be done.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
So,
Look,
anyways,
originally,
carry on.
it was $250 back in the day. That is crazy.
Release date March 24th, 2005.
Dude, that's crazy. I got one around
Yeah.
the time I graduated, so because we graduated in 06. That's
Yep.
nuts. Okay, yeah, thank you for showing me that. That is so. It's got me even more jazzed to show you what I've been doing. Let me just pull
The
this
PSP.
up. The PSP.
That thing was
So-
so beautiful too.
It's so beautiful. It was a great
Oh,
system.
PPSSPP.
I
Yeah.
believe I like messed up my first one, and my girlfriend at the time bought me a used one so that I would still have a PSP to play. But
That's awesome.
check this out. This is my PSP emulator. Let me get it on the screen.
I like it.
Let me fix the screen so that I can show you everything. But you get the gist of it. Right now I have 3 games. I wanted a good platformer. So I heard about a game called Loco Roco, which is a pretty crazy game. Little Big Planet,
Little Big Planet.
which
Of
is
course.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the one I wanted to highlight that I've been playing, I've played all the Metal Gear games except for this one, I think.
This is on his phone, guys.
This is cool
This
because
is on his phone.
it's got states on there, so I can just load the state instead of having to go back through everything I was doing. Actually, let me go to a different one where I was actually in the game. So I'm loading the game state, and dude, look at this. Incredible.
That's crazy.
There's a guy on the ground. For some reason, my controller isn't working, but
That's
oh,
crazy,
no.
though.
Oh no, I'm stuck. I can't
He's
do
about
anything.
to.
Wait, but you,
He's like, snake, snake, snake.
but to get the gist of it, it controls a little bit weird, but I was able to map my controller. So instead of using the buttons over here to control the camera, I was able to map the buttons to my other analog stick so that it controls more like a new game.
Oh, that's cool.
But if I wanted
I did not know you could do.
yeah, I mean, it still plays a little bit funky, because it doesn't get the inputs for like, come on. I'm trying to grab them, but I'm using my mouse to do it all. But anyways, it's really cool because it doesn't look horrible. And
yeah, getting some cool footage right now, guys. That's pretty cool.
So this is actually upscaled too. So actually, no, it isn't. So I can upscale it.
Yeah, times two. Yeah.
I can upscale it
to
to
1080p.
1080p, and still runs good. I don't know if you can really tell how much different it looks on the screen, but let me wake this dude up so I can choke him out real quick. Let me do this. Wake up, brother.
You're literally tapping him, like telling him to wake up.
There he is. Got him. What you want, son? Really cool though. Choke him out. Yeah. See, that's nostalgia right there. Choking people out as Snake. Dude. So good. But so I'm probably gonna play through this entire story. It's really
is
cool.
That what Metal Gear Solid is that?
So
Snake Eater?
No, so Snake Eater was on PS3, I believe. This is Metal Gear Solid. Crap.
Click on it just one time. Oh no.
Is it? I think it's like Peace Walker or something like that. I think it's Peace something. It's one that I haven't played. I have another Metal Gear Solid PSP game that I did play, and I thought that was the only one. But this is a whole other story, and what's crazy is a lot of it will remind you of Metal Gear Solid 5, the latest one that came out. They borrowed a lot of things from this game, and they're Peace Walker.
Peace Walker.
Yeah. They're actually related in the story too. It's crazy how close the story is to that game, and how they kind of. It's almost like Metal Gear Solid 5 is a continuation of this one in my eyes. So it's crazy getting to go back and experience these old stories, which are actually really good still. It's got different cutscenes and stuff that is more like a comic book, and but it also has some that are like animated and stuff. But really, really cool.
Man, that's cool.
I'm getting back into like emulation and stuff, so I've been playing that. And I'm playing that Pokemon MMO. And, all of these games are kind of older. They play a bit older, but they're still just as fun as they've always been. And
you got the nostalgia part of it.
Yeah, and you got the nostalgia, but the thing about it is now you can upscale and up-res all these things and use like modern controllers and have a lot of fun with them. And because
there are good things with the modern
for
gaming.
Sure, and I do love my Steam Deck, but sometimes that thing's too big to haul around if you just want something in your pocket. And like now, I can just kind of have my phone in my pocket and play these games if I'm in an environment that it would look a little bit better to just have a phone on me. So yeah, that's kind of some stuff I was wanting to mention and talk about and kind of show off a little bit. I've been experimenting with it and been having a good time.
I like it. I know that Android, the Motorola, I know can do a little bit more. I know the iPhone, if you do have an iPhone, you do have now where you can get emulators such as the Game Boy Advance emulator and stuff like Game Boy Color emulator to play a lot of those Pokemon games and stuff. The Switch, oddly enough, still with the Nintendo Switch Online, has not added any of the Pokemon games, the older ones.
Oh, really?
I'm hoping at some point they add those so you and me can like communicate and we can start trading with like a Pokemon Red.
Oh, for sure.
Or white. Like that would be so cool to
Dude,
like actually do it like you used to do with the cables, the link cables on the Game Boy.
So if you ever want to download this MMO, I'm pretty sure you could still do it on your phone. I'm not positive, but it'd be cool to hop in this world with you and go do some turn-based battles. That would be really neat.
We might have to try that out.
I might have to tell you about it. But also, crap, I had something I was going to mention. Oh, in Tabletop Sim last night, I was still like messing around after everybody else left, and I found the Pokemon trading card game on there, just like that's on mobile, the one that's kind of a lot shorter and stuff, and it had
we like.
Yeah, and it had the whole board, it had all the cards. It was really cool. So we got to try that out one day. That would be really fun.
We have got to try that out. We have got to, dude. I gotta say, the PSP conversation, the Xbox partnership with AMD, the gaming deal that he gave with Tabletop Sim, pretty dang good show. Nintendo selling 3.5 million. You got the new Pokemon game that you put everybody on with the MMO.
Yeah, I got to figure out the name of that. I didn't come prepared like I should, but I can show everybody what the icon looks like. I think it's called PokeMMO. PokeMMO. I don't. No, you can't see
it.
Just stand by for 2 seconds and let me
PokeMMO, guys.
Because you got to go to a website and create an account and all that stuff. There it is. PokeMMO is what this is. Let me go to the video.
Does it cost any money to download it?
No, it is free to play. And I think they just got to show you what to download. So it's on Windows, Android,
go to
iOS. Yeah. Use
you have to sideload it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's some different things. You got to download like a few different games from back in the day. I don't remember what they are exactly. And then they do it all together to make this MMO, basically.
There you go, guys.
Pretty neat.
Pretty cool.
I downloaded it like 3 years ago and just now started playing it for some reason. This just how I operate, baby. Just things
keep
get
it in your back
interesting
pocket.
to me. Yeah.
You always, as a gamer, you always want to backlog all your games and everything. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. It's been actually a really great show. Great topics. If we left out a topic that you think was even bigger topic that we should have talked about, make sure you drop it in the comments down below. For YouTube or Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, any of those things, make sure you leave comments, guys. Make sure you hit the likes. Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great week. Drop us a line. Get in those comments, for Lord's sakes. Get up in there. Tell us your favorite gaming moment, what you've been playing, all that stuff. We'd really appreciate it.
Gino and Greg. Peace out.
Later.
Think about that PSP, bro. See that Zapdos.
Oh.